Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. We've got some more tidbits about Star Wars Battlefront 2 thanks to some tweets from its developers. Games Radar reported that the game will use dedicated servers. We probably won't see a Galactic Conquest mode. Sorry, I guess that's the one thing that they're not fixing from the first time around, and you'll be able to play as battle droids. Plus, the game's Battlefield-style class system will also allow for some drastic customization of your character. Oh, and there will be a change to how reloading weapons works. We don't know the specifics of that yet, but one developer's response to a fan indicated that there will be a change to the weapon's cooldown and reloading systems. The developers also said you'll be able to unlock deluxe edition gear just by playing, so that'll be welcome news for fans. We'll probably learn more about the game at E3 this summer, but the game's reveal at the Star Wars Celebration event last week has already garnered pretty positive reactions, with fans excited about a new campaign mode and the ability to play as characters from across all the Star Wars eras. It's actually quite funny seeing the list of all the red X's on features from the last game now turned into green checkboxes. A lot of people will be happy about that. Battlefront 2 set to release for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC November 17th. Still a while to wait, so we'll learn plenty more about it in the next coming months. Now you want to play ranked matches in Dota 2? Well, you better get your phone out. There are some changes coming to Dota 2's matchmaking system, and the one that's going to get the most attention is that players will now have to link their phone number to their Steam account in order to play ranked matches. According to a post on the Dota 2 blog, the idea is to cut down on players using multiple accounts. The devs said, players using multiple accounts create a negative matchmaking experience at all skill brackets, so our goal is to add just enough friction to this process that the number of players doing this will be noticeably reduced. Players will have until May 4th to register their numbers. Also, in the update, which released yesterday, Valve's bringing back the solo queue as well as an option to only play games against players who are queuing alone. Final Fantasy XV is getting an update that PlayStation 4 Pro owners have been looking forward to. Nova Crystallis says the update will add additional features for the PlayStation 4 Pro, one of which is a new mode that allows the game to have a stable frame rate and comfortable play. You might remember that the game got PS4 Pro support in February, but it was criticized after some said that it made the game actually perform worse under certain circumstances. Also, you'll be able to magnify subtitles and the menu screen size, which is great news for those of us who can't read the teeny tiny type because we have old people eyes. The update will launch on April 27th, so look forward to that. Not long to go. A famed Japanese developer was close to obliterating an important part of video game history. Fortunately, the internet stepped in and saved the day. According to a NeoGAF post, the developer Nihon Falcom recently posted a picture on its Twitter profile showing a box full of 5-inch floppy disks. The developer said that the disks had been just sitting around for 10 years and they were getting rid of them. Nihon Falcom, which has been around since the early 80s, was one of the pioneers of the action role-playing game genre. Both Enix and Square were influenced by the company, and they're credited for setting the foundations of the RPG industry in Japan. Pretty important stuff. Some of the games it was set to toss out included classics from the 80s like Ys, Dragon Slayer, and Sorceria N. Luckily, the head of the Game Preservation Society in Tokyo responded, and then a whole bunch of people retweeted and said, please, 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 please don't throw these out, and now the games will be preserved and donated, so they'll live on forever. Whew. Bullet dodged. XFiles fans rejoice! Again! Fox is bringing back the Supernatural series once more. The Los Angeles Times reports that after the success of last year's revival, the network's actually ordered a second chapter. That means Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny will return for 10 more episodes, and it will again be produced by Chris Carter. You might remember that the X-Files was brought back last year as a 6-episode event series, and it was a huge hit, drawing an average of 16 million viewers across various platforms. So when you wonder why all the stuff from the 80s and 90s keeps being remade and rebooted again to try, that's why, is because there are people out there who really miss those eras and those properties. They don't all strike gold like X-Files though. The new series is scheduled to air during the 2017-2018 TV season, writers' strike allowing. Now, if you've been following Star Wars drama over the last few days, some fans, yeah, they're in a little bit of a tizzy over, get this, the scar on Kylo Ren's face. This is something that I completely missed from the teaser, but the Star Wars faithful did not. The controversy erupted over the new trailer for The Last Jedi, in which some fans noticed that Kylo Ren's scar, which he received courtesy of Rey, is now on the right side of his face. That's a change from The Force Awakens, in which the scar is more centered. And Polygon reports that some dedicated cosplayers were not really pleased about the moving scar. People tweeted at director Rian Johnson about the discrepancy, and he finally responded saying, "It was my decision to slightly adjust it, and that was my justification." It honestly looked goofy running straight up the bridge of his nose. So there you go. It looked goofy. The Last Jedi, which will feature Kylo Ren's new non-goofy scar, hits theaters December 15th, and I cannot wait. Now, we do have some sad news, guys. So sorry to be the one to tell you this, but the Fast and the Furious franchise is coming to an end after 2 more movies. In an interview with Collider, franchise producer Neil Moritz confirmed that the franchise will end with Fast and Furious 10. The producers already have an ending in mind for the franchise, he said, but lots of stuff in between still needs to be worked out. So yeah, 2 more, then they're done. Unless the 10th one does really well, and then probably more, maybe. The 8th installment, Fate of the Furious, yeah, Fate, is in theaters now, and he's been kicking all kinds of box office ass, so let's call it 10 a soft ending. They still need to go back in time for Fast 9, right, and fight Hitler, and then they have to, what was the one for 10?
Fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah. That's right, fasten your seatbelts, god damn it. Well, we'll see if we get that one. We'd all be really missing out if we don't. Need a reminder about how tiny we are in the overall universe? Well, here's a picture that'll freak the hell out of you. An image from NASA's Cassini spacecraft shows a view of Earth from between Saturn's rings. Phys.org reported that the spacecraft snapped the view on April 12th when Cassini was approximately 870 million miles from Earth. Hell of a commute. You can also see the moon in a zoomed in version. Basically, we look like a tiny little speck, just little teeny tiny. In the words of Calvin and Hobbes, I'm gonna go home and turn all the lights on now. Although we could just take the Elon Musk route because he's got a new venture and it's not space travel or electric cars. This time it's much more grounded, turning us all into androids. I mean, if you're worried about AI and robots destroying us all, that is one way to handle it, which is to turn us all into androids and robots first. Mashable reports that the real-life Tony Stark is about to become the CEO of Neuralink, a company that ultimately wants to merge the human brain with a computer. The company's long-term goal is to advance the technology behind neural implants until they can implant something into a healthy person's brain, and that implant would allow communication between people without the need for language. And Musk's goal, according to reports, is to vastly increase communication speed between humans, which would allow us to keep up with super powerful artificial intelligence. And it sounds pretty cool, honestly. It actually sounds very sci-fi video game, but this is reality. I'm in. As long as they test it on someone else's brain first. I'll be like 1,000th in line. That sounds like a good spot. All right, what do you guys think of all of today's news? Let us know down in the comments. Hope you guys are ready for a super great weekend. Let us know what you're playing, actually, this weekend in the comments as well, because I'm all curious. I'm all up on Persona right now, but you know, everyone's got their own thing. Make sure you like this video so you see all of our news updates in your feed, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the Know, and we'll news you every day.
Solid roundup.
Yeah! Some of the games it was set to toss out included classics from the 80s like, is it Weiss?
It's East.
These fucking goddamn fucking letters things, son of a bitch. See, I can be grumble like an old person too.